What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, your friend Tinoco, coming at you again from North Memphis. Try to replace the bulbs. The bulb's not the problem. I'm gonna have to uh, get the light fixed. But all right, whatever. I got another lamp in here, so I have more even distribution of light. Other than that, very glaring lamp behind my head. I have a backlit head, so I have a halo. Enjoying my cup of coffee that I just made today. Cafe Bustelo, good stuff. It's that golden yellow can you see in the coffee aisle. Um, but anyhow, I wanted to clarify. I'm gonna. By the way, I'm gonna be making this video in both English and Spanish. Not this particular one. I'm gonna make a Spanish version of the same video. It won't be exactly the same because it'd be directed towards a different audience. Um, but anyhow, but the substance of what it is and the impact I wish it to have is the same, is the exact same. So anyhow, we okay. So I made it clear that I'm hoping that my two senators vote to remove Donald Trump. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen before Biden is inaugurated this coming up week, but which would make a lot of things easier, basically, to remediate the security concerns and the loss of property concerns in the White House, for example, um, of the president. But I want to explain two things: why Donald Trump and why the support. Why the support? Okay, and it's going to be based a little on the prior video. First of all, why is Donald Trump trying to hang on to office so hard? The life of the next president is a really charmed one. It doesn't matter if you're a one term guy, you get an office, you get a generous stipend, you get $1 million in travel allowance, so you can represent the United States all around the world. Um, Basically, which offers you the opportunity to make these charge these ridiculous speaking engagement fees all over the world. I mean, even George W. Bush, who didn't end his presidency under the most um, magnanimous of circumstances, most favorable circumstances, still has quite a bit of attention he can command um, around the around the globe because of basically the predominance still of some people who are kind of Cold War neoliberal in their thinking, intellectually or whatever. He can get an audience. It would be worth his while to keep traveling around the world, or not just take hunker down in his ranch in Crawford, Texas. But anyhow, this is a very serious matter with respect to the president. Um, the president faces um, the president faces a lot of financial trouble. The president faces a lot of legal trouble um, because of people investigating the treatment of his companies with respect to charity, the double books to declare properties higher than usual to get a loan and lower than usual to avoid taxes, uh, the bilking of charitable donations, the pocketing of inaugural and campaign expenses. His family's wrapped up into these things. There, and believe you me, I wish that you know, this is not a partisan attack. I kind of wish a former Secretary of State would be more in the under the scrutiny of the courts for what she did numerous times to to destroy the world peace. But so this is not. I don't have it against Donald Trump. I'm just saying he's got a lot of trouble waiting for him. The way to avoid the trouble is to stay in office, and this is why, come hell or high water, he's been trying to stay in office. This is why we have hundreds of sorting machines destroyed, disassembled in our post office. This is why we had drop-off boxes and voting locations removed in certain places. This is why we were. That's why he was. This is why he was calling secretaries of state of certain states and certain swing states to change results. This is why we had court fights in certain swing states, not the ones that where he won, obviously, but sorry, he's got a world of hurt waiting for him when he gets out. And this is why he really wants to come to bring hell or high water, in order to scorch the earth, to threaten violence. The president has threatened violence, okay? And by his followers, by these tough guys, Proud Boys, biker gangs, people like that. Look, any election result that was not favorable to Donald Trump would have been deemed illegitimate. And this is in spite of the fact that he did such a poor job defending us from from the biggest threat to our own well-being and way of life, the coronavirus. I mean, up until the last day, he screws that up. Up until almost the very last day. You mean, you look at this stuff, Operation or whatever, not Fast and Furious, whatever, Operation Warp Speed. Operation Warp Speed, my butt. Operation Operation Warp the supply chain of vaccines. We have a million doses of vaccines somewhere in the United States right now, and only 3 million people have received them. This is not something which has been executed in a manner of which to diminish the impact of the pandemic on society. It's not. First of all, he doesn't care. Okay. Second of all, he's just trying to save his ass, really, for the reasons I've already stated. Now, he has legions of people who are looking to support him, who believe. They don't believe deep in their hearts, okay? They don't believe that. But we've had some loosey-goosey grips on truth, such that because of the environment of the press and political rhetoric, truth has become in question, generally. You can say anything and you can believe anything, and it's okay. It's okay to believe whatever. It's okay to believe whatever, irrespective of the impact it has on other people. Whatever. Okay. So, we have people who have lined up all day to vote against this man. Do they think they have 80 million votes? Yeah, you can get 80 million. In fact, there was so much rampant cheating and gerrymandering and disruption to the voting process and attempts to call races before the mail-in ballots came, um, which were predominantly um, not Biden voters or Democrat voters in other states, because these are people who are looking to actually avoid. I mean, if you want to look at a behavior that separates Trump supporters, not just voters, but supporters. Okay, people who want to go out and who are willing to go to march in Washington and storm the Capitol. The behavior you had, as you see in the community, is that people who are either independent, Democrat, or Biden's. Face it, Biden has very few supporters. Okay, mostly partisan people, but people who are Democrat, independent, we wear our masks and we social distance. Okay, people who are Trump supporters, especially where it is a Trump event, whether it be a rally or a march or a meeting to announce the new Supreme Court nominee. So we're talking about high class, middle class, working class, rural, poor, whatever. No mask, no mask. So the truth is being. I mean, you can't to falsify. It's even kind of where they've questioned whether or not the causes of death for these people who die with their lungs, turgidly saturated in their own pus, actually died of the coronavirus. Like, oh, they were old, or whatever, they were ready to go, or they had, or they had bronchitis, or they were smokers. Well, okay, so they weren't going to survive. Immediate cause was the coronavirus. Come on. Okay. So truths come into question. But there's also one other thing that you can observe about these people who line up to support Trump like this, and who want to deliver him the victory by force, because the election wasn't stolen. The election was not stolen. Repeat after me. The election was not stolen. The election was not stolen. The election was not stolen. Okay, because it wasn't. It wasn't. This thing was settled in court in the same way people have the right to carry guns around and instruments of mass murder around and purchase these things on the open market. This was decided in a court. It was a court case. This is case law, not legislative law. It's case law related to constitutional law. Okay, but anyhow, so what is it that other than the stubbornness of avoiding wearing masks at mass events? What do you see? Okay, well, these folks obviously are not. They give less importance to the democratic process and institutions, which they don't realize maybe they benefit from, because in this case, it's not going to give them Trump for another 4 years. And the reason why they want Trump for another 4 years is because he is fighting for something that they themselves want to fight for, and which is the avoidance of a pluralistic democratic society. They don't want government to work for people they don't like, and they like it when the government doesn't work for people they don't like, and they like it when the government screws over, kills, maims, cracks skulls of people they don't like. That's it. It's white supremacy? No, it's white preference. It's white preference, okay? Supremacy, bullshit. Okay, it's white preference. And these are things, so in other words, if you tell somebody, like Lyndon B. Johnson said, if you tell them that they're better than the best, most successful black man, better than, then they will give you your campaign. They will empty their pockets for you, finance your campaign. They will support you the whole way. So we saw this when Obama was elected. We saw the organization of the Tea Party. So obviously the networks were built. The audience was built. The way to appeal to them was built. And a lot of them was actually due to Trump even before he made the move to run for president. Around 2011, 2012, he started challenging Barack Obama's birth certificate openly. So it started appealing to a really weird element of people from early on. Not to say, okay. So basically, when they see an urbane, liberal, black president who appeals, who gives hope for, and who the African American community and liberals are in absolute joy over, what sticks is that he is Muslim, even though it's provably untrue. Provably untrue. So what if he were? This is okay. All right. This is what they want to go with. He's Muslim. He's a foreigner. He wasn't born in the United States. So you hang on to a certain canard because it's not polite to call him the N-word in public. Okay. So we still have the police networks. And these people cheer Blue Lives Matter. Blue Lives Matter, right? They don't, the long of the story is that they don't believe what they say they believe. They believe something, and that's what's motivating them. The hidden undercore belief is they fight, the most important thing is to fight against a pluralistic democracy. They don't want people they don't like to have it as good. They don't want the system to work for them as well. They don't want God to favor them. They don't want the government to favor them. They don't want their political figures to favor them. They don't want anything to favor them. They want them sad. They want them sorry. They want them in jail. They want them dead. They want them fearful for their lives. They want them committing crimes so they can, keep on cracking the skulls. These are the people who stormed the Capitol. These are people who, this is something we did not clamp down on because of our reconciliatory model of Reconstruction. Instead of a radical, all these first-time black folks who won seats in Congress were run out by the populace because nobody could defend. There weren't troops anymore in the South in order to defend the civil society. There were mobs of people trying to prevent people to enroll in certain schools. Military service notwithstanding. So these are things that happened, in a lifetime ago, within a lifetime ago. There are people who can tell you about these things who have hell of a lot more gray hair than I do. But the main irritant of a good many people is the movement to pluralistic democracy, social and economic justice. That is what people are fighting against. We misname it white supremacy. It's a total white preference. They don't like the other, even though we've annexed land of the other. even though we've brought the other to do the dirty work from even before the beginning. Okay. The viruses that enabled the recruitment of the Confederate Army and the Tennessee Volunteers to go fight first the British and then Mexico, um, twice Mexico. These viruses uh, have persisted until the day because we did not cut them off. Now, we need a complete accountability for people who were directly involved, and we need to come to grips with the social problems, all the social problems in law enforcement, in society, in politics, in partisan politics, in the media, that these people that have had a hand in promoting the legitimacy and the viability of of the viability of um, reactionary mouth breathing people in our society and their views. So anyway, this is how why I explain Trump. Trump knows these people. He grew up in Queens when Queens was flipping around demographically. So he grew up in Queens. He grew up in the Queens that Archie Bunker was railing against. In that comedy series, because after 1960s or so is when there was a lot of demographic changes in the boroughs of New York. A lot of it was a destination of a lot of immigration, and a lot of people weren't very happy with that. Probably including the father of Donald Trump, possibly Donald Trump himself. So the phrase "shithole countries" resonates with a lot of people, irrespective of our role in scattering scat all over these countries. For that doesn't matter. People don't study these things. But anyway, so these are the people who showed up at the Capitol. The mob of anti-pluralistic, reactionary regressives. And it gives me joy to see them crumble like they do when they get held to account for having violated the space during proceedings of a very, very legitimate election. During a very legitimate election, repeat that. I don't care what your feelings are towards that. So come to grips with it. We have another challenge with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not the perfect dude. Kamala Harris is not the perfect lady. But we have to stay organized. We have to stay in contact because there's still a lot more fight left in order to make this a more perfect union for the most people possible. This is your boy, a friend Tinoco, having told you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Talk to you later. Bye.